How many of you have ever been on the brink of just complete burnout? Burn out. And you know what I mean when I say the term burnout, right? I feel like maybe 10 years ago, 20 years ago, like the only thing we'd reference in a burnout is like when we're driving our car. But unfortunately today, when we hear the word burnout, we have that immediate understanding of what that means, right? Burnout, complete overwhelmness, like to the point where your battery of your body is like on red. You are redlining, right? You are sitting there and, you go to bed and you wake up after a long sleep and you still feel tired, right? Have you ever been in the situation where you're waking up tired? You're sitting there and you're revving, feeling like you're redlining, but barely feeling like you're moving. You feel like you got so much freaking weight on your back. You can feel it physically. Like physically, you can feel the weight, even though there's nothing physically on your back, right? A lot of times burnout leads to broader symptoms, right? Right now, depression is so broad. You have so many people today fighting and dealing with depression. It's like an epidemic. So many people feeling kind of like unfulfilled or like those more. I think these are all kind of symptoms of this topic of just burned out, right? How many of you guys are willing to get honest and just say, hey, if you've ever felt any of those feelings, go ahead and say I have in the comments, right? And let's go ahead and open up. And I think for those of you guys that have or have been on the brink of all of that, feel like your energy is just drained and you can't figure out how to get it back to even 80%, let alone 100%, right? You don't feel like that you're really alive. That's the bottom line, right? The opposite of feeling alive, being alive, would be just feeling unalive, feeling drained, feeling dead inside, right? Feeling burned out. And if you have felt that way, guys, I'll tell you, you're not alone. In today's day and age, I feel like it's almost a normal phase for so many people to go through. And it makes sense, right? You think about the time that we live in today. Like, we are so connected. I mean, you look at us right now. We're talking with people all over the world, on live while I'm in the middle of a run. Like, we are so connected. We are accessible 24/7. It wasn't that long ago where if someone wanted to get a hold of you, you're like, yeah, I remember where you had to be home, where you had a phone, right? You couldn't just access somebody 24/7 from their pocket in 52 different ways. It wasn't that long ago that we weren't as accessible as we are. So we are literally on demand 24/7, on demand from the world around us. We're on demand from any sort of news, any sort of notification, any sort of alarm, any sort of alert. We have things that ring, ding, buzz, right? Notify. We are always on demand. And we don't realize maybe the impact that has on us when we're, having to put energy into certain things all the time. And we don't realize that a little glance at a phone, a little swipe up, a little scroll, a little click, a little read, all of that actually takes energy, right? We're also at a time where we have increasing expectation. Right? Everybody is moving faster, going further, wanting more, right? Our standards continue to increase. The expectations around us continue to increase. Everybody wants, right, more faster than ever before. So we're at a time where we're more plugged in. Expectation is greater than it's ever been. But I'll tell you one thing that isn't growing at the same as our technology, or isn't growing at the same pace as our expectation. And that's time. That's the one thing that is not growing at the same pace. Our time is not expanding. At least mine's not. Have you guys figured out how to expand time yet? Like for me, I still have the same 24 hours in a day as I did 10 years ago, as I did 20 years ago, as I did 30 years ago. So I haven't figured out how to expand time. So here we are trying to fit more into the same fixed amount of time. So guys, I think the conditions that we live in today definitely lean toward a feeling of just overwhelmness, exhaustion, burnout, So what's the solution? Before I give you my thoughts, I got 4 quick thoughts that have helped me through all of those phases. And I know they've helped a lot of the individuals that I'm around and a lot of the individuals that I associate with, top achievers, top performers, a lot of the mentors that I've learned from. I'm going to give you 4 thoughts. Before I give you my thoughts, you give me your thoughts. This is a conversation. You give me, how do you deal with burnout, right? Go ahead and leave a comment below. What have you found effective in not getting to the brink, right? What things do you do knowing yourself, right, that you found have been beneficial? And don't keep them to yourself. Don't be selfish, okay? Comment with the group. Share. We got a community here that's going to read the comments. The more valuable your comments and input are, the more valuable this conversation is and this thread is. So do share, okay? And if you have anything that you have found personally in your journey, your search, your growth and awareness that you feel would help. So I'll give you my 4 thoughts. You guys ready? Okay, here's my 4 quick thoughts. Number 1, probably a less obvious, but probably the most important in my opinion. You have to make sure your time is spent in alignment with your natural talents and gifts. This is a big one. And this goes to the heart of those of you maybe that are, you feel like you're going, working, yet you don't feel like you're moving at the pace you should be moving. It's almost like your life is on a treadmill. You're cranking it up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You got that thing at max. You are running, but you're not really moving forward at the pace that you want. You feel burned out. You guys, it might not be you or the work that you're putting in or your effort. It might be that you're running down a path that is not in alignment with your natural talents and gifts. Here's the reality. Here's what I've learned. When you work in alignment with your natural talents, not what you want your talents to be, not what others want your talents to be, but what your natural talents really are. When you work in alignment with what you were given, here's the irony. You actually recharge the more that you do. I know that sounds crazy, but you guys know kind of the batteries that when you use it, it's kind of like a car, right? You use the battery and it actually recharges itself. The more you use it, the more it charges. That's how it works when you work in alignment with your natural talents and gifts. You actually build an energy from it. You actually enjoy it. Your battery actually increases. You can feel a flow. And contra, when you are running down a path that is not in alignment with your natural talents and gifts, here's the reality. No matter how hard you work, no matter how much you want it, no matter how much other people want you to do it, you're going to feel drained. It will wear you out. So many people are stuck at this one. They think if they just do more, they'll dig out. They think if they just, go further, they'll dig out. Not if you're not working in alignment with the natural talents and gifts that you're meant to be using. So number 1, when it comes to burnout, make sure you're on the right path. You're swimming in your right lane, right? You're focused on what you're meant to be doing. Yes, you were given talents and gifts for a reason. They are different than others for a reason. You're supposed to be using those for a reason. And if you spend your life not using those, you are going to feel it mentally and physically. Okay, so number 1, alignment with your natural talents. Number 2, when it comes to helping with burnout, I'd have to say environment. There are some people that add energy and there are some people that take energy. That's just people. You guys know this, right? You guys know this. You can feel this. There are some people that when you're around, they charge you up. There are some people when you're around, they drain you. So here's an obvious one. If you have an environment that is draining, that is sucking the life out of you, that you leave and you feel like your battery just went down 10% the time that you were there, shift your environment. You got to have an environment that recharges, that uplifts, that level up, right? That helps you level up. You got to have an environment that adds energy to you. Do me a favor right now. If you got someone in your life that adds energy to you, tag them below, right? Tag them below and just say, thank you for giving me energy. If you got someone in your life, could be anyone, your spouse, a mentor, a business partner, a friend, an acquaintance, right? If you got someone in your life that gives energy to you, that fills your cup, tag them below, give them some love. So number 2, shift your environment. Number 3, I'll get tactical here. Okay, so I'll get tactical. Number 3, you gotta learn to manage your waterfall. So guys, when I say manage your waterfall, we live in a time where the list will always be never ending. At least for me, I don't ever have an end of a list. I don't know about you guys, but do you ever get to the end of your list? Because I never get to the end of my list. I got 50 different lists, and there's never an end to any of the lists, okay? There's never an end to the list. There's never an end to the input, right? It's not like you can check everything off you were supposed to do today and be done with your list. At least that's not the world that I'm familiar with. So if we live in a world where the list is never ending, we have to learn to manage our list, manage our waterfalls. When it comes down to project lists, right, task lists, to-do lists, for those of you guys that manage a lot of things, they're important. Don't try to remember everything. That's not going to work. But keep 2 lists. Keep one list of the top 1, 2, 3 things that are most important for you to do today, and throw everything else in another list, okay? Focus on 2 lists, so that way you have a shorter, manageable, realistic list that can focus your efforts for today, and that's the list that you want to get to the end of. And then have the infinite list that you can pull from moving on. So you got to manage that waterfall. You got to manage your input. How many freaking inboxes are you managing these days? You got your Facebook Messenger, you got your text, you got your email, you got your WhatsApp, you got your Instagram, you got your this, you got your that, right? You got to manage your inputs. What's the priority? When are you accessible? How much time do you want to put in? So you guys got to put guardrails around the waterfall. If you just sit there and constantly let everything flow into your space, it's going to wear you out. You will never get to an end. And if you have that characteristic, like many of us, where you're an achiever, right? If you've been conditioned, right, that you got to do. If you don't manage your waterfall, the waterfall will drown you. So manage your waterfall. Lastly, 4th thought to today, and I got to get back and running. Know how to recharge. And this kind of gets down to learning about yourself and how you need to recharge. A lot of people think, oh man, I don't need to take time for myself. I don't need to take time off. There's so much I got to do. You don't get it. You operating at a 50% or a 60% forever is never going to achieve excellence. It's never going to get you to where you want. You'd rather learn to operate at a 90% or at 100%, right? 90% of the time. I'll say that again. You operating at a 90 or 100%, right? 80, 90% of the time is going to get you way further, way faster than you operating at a 50% or a 60%, 100% of the time. So you got to learn what you got to do to recharge, to make sure that you're always operating at a peak potential, always moving toward your potential. You got to recharge. And this is different for everybody, right? Some people can recharge in 20 minutes a day. Some people need to take, weekends off every month. Some people need to take extended vacations. You got to figure out how you stay between 90 to 100%, right? And there's little things that you can do. Music is amazing cues. There's certain music I know you have association to that charges you up. Wake up to that music. Set that as your alarm clock. Why would you ever wake up to an annoying buzzer when you got freaking iPhone that you can set the alarm that you want to wake up to every single day to your music? Wake up to certain music. Get with nature, right? For a lot of people, nature recharges. I have a treadmill in the gym, right, down the street from my house. But I'd rather run in the hills, right? It gives energy. It gives energy. Connect with nature. That works for many people. Always have something to look forward to. If you don't have something on your calendar to look forward to, what are you doing? So you guys have to know what it takes for you to recharge. Some people need to recharge daily, some people weekly, some people monthly, some people yearly. Everybody's different. There's not right or wrong. There's not good or bad. There's no guilt associated. What I'm here to tell you is you operating between your 90 to 100%, right? 100% of the time is going to always be more effective than you operating at 50 or 60%, 100% of the time. So learn how to recharge. So there's 4 thoughts. Alignment on your talents, an environment that gives you energy. Manage your waterfall so it doesn't drown you. And learn how to recharge. Real question, checking in for all of you. A lot of you have been great watching. Which one of those do you need to work on most? Okay, real check. Which one do you need to work on most? Number 1, right, alignment and gifts. Number 2, your environment. Number 3, managing the waterfall. Or number 4, just learning when and how you recharge. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Which one do you need to work on most? Comments below, comment below, comment below. If this was valuable to you, okay, do me a favor and click share if this was valuable to you. The amount of shares tells me how valuable the conversation was, how valuable the topic was, and allows me to better serve you on future conversations. So if this was valuable to you, click share. If there is someone you know right now that is dealing with burnout, they're overwhelmed, they're drained, they're not living their life fully, they're not feeling alive, they're there, right? But they're running through motions, do them a favor and tag them in the comments and just say, hey, watch this today. It's a great gift you can give on Monday. And as always, if this inspired any other conversations that you want to address in the future, any other questions you have to move you forward, any other topics you want to address as a community here, go ahead and leave it in the comments below, and I'll do my best to grab all of that and keep them for the future. I read every single one of these. So, hey guys, happy Monday, little Monday motivation. Have a rocking week. Appreciate all of you. Sending you love, sending you strength, sending you clarity. And hey, there's no reason to live burned out. The whole point of being alive is feeling alive. So if you're out here alive, you might as well put yourself in a situation to feel alive, which means we got to get rid of this whole burnout concept. And I just gave you 4 thoughts that can help move you in the right direction. I got to get back on my run. Happy Monday, everybody. Have a great week.